I'm here with Drew, director of Suicide Theory. How are you enjoying the festivities so far, Drew?
I love it, mate. I love it. I think it's a great festival, and they really look after the filmmakers, which I think is an awesome thing.
Tell me about the film from your perspective. Because, the subject matter is pretty heavy, and just tell me what you were thinking during the process.
Mate, when I read the script, I was looking for something a little bit different, Like you read a lot of scripts, especially, at the indie level, and they're all very similar. But this script was really different, really surprising, really edgy-seat stuff. So it's very Twilight Zone-ish, You never really know where it's going to end up, and it keeps changing. Even when you start to think you know what's going to happen next, it switches out again. So I really got a lot out of that. I thought that was the coolest part of it.
Because I interviewed Steve, and he was saying, it's more than just a typical hitman movie. There ends up being a relationship there between the characters. What's your take on that? Because they end up being friends.
Yeah, it really is. Like when people hear a hitman, a suicidal guy, they think of a certain film, and it's really not that at all. It's got a lot of depth, a lot of heart, and it's really about relationship. Which, these two characters they're dark, they're brooding, and they're very loners But yeah, it becomes this sort of great journey between two characters that can basically, learn from each other at the end of the story. But at the end of the day, one's trying to kill the other, and the other one wants him to kill him. So you never really understand where it's going to end up, which is great. I think that's cool.
One of my questions I had asked Steve was, did you walk away with anything from the film? Because it's so in depth, the relationships or anything like that. Did you have a lingering effect after the film?
I think the great message from the film is that friendships pop up wherever. It doesn't matter where. You might not be looking for it. You might think you're at the lowest point, but you connect with some people and you don't connect with others. So, you never close yourself off to people because you might just find that one person that makes a bit of a difference.
Now that the movie's at this point, what would you like the audience to walk away with, from the characters or the film itself?
I think if the film has a message and people walk out of the film, feeling anything, I think there's 3 or 4 different things running through the film, and I think any 3 or 4 people that watch the film might walk away with different messages or different opinions, or I just want people to walk away from the film and talk about it and have some sort of theory or some sort of this is what I thought was cool or this is what I thought was going on, and them to debate it even. So it'd be great to have people walk out of the film talking about it.
Was this film very different than some of the other films you worked on? The whole content and just the effect of it.
The script was incredible. Like Mike wrote an amazing script. It was the best script I've ever read in my life, and I moved heaven and earth to make this film. I really thought this was the best script that I've ever read in my life. So basically, we had to make this film, and we found the right actors to portray the roles. And I think people walk out of it and not really know what to think at the start because it's so different. But I think they'll still be talking about it a couple of days later. I hope so.
Just a couple more questions. The film, from when you first read it to the finished product, pretty similar? Did you make changes along the way?
Well, it was written by a guy in New York, and we're Australian, so I had to change certain elements of it, like a bit of slang and this, that, and the other. But for the most part, we stayed true to it, and we we tried to adapt it to the Australian way of life. But again, I don't think there's going to be many people that have seen a lot of Australian films and walk in and go, it's like every other Australian film. Like we've tried to give it a little bit of an independent feel. So I think it's going to be a unique Australian film, yeah.
And just one last question about social media. You're on Twitter, Facebook, the film, yourself, where they can find out more information about you?
Yeah, we have a lot of really good people that have gotten behind the film, and we've actually been surprised by how many people, even are showing up today because they heard about it on Twitter and saw the trailer and this, that, and the other. So social media's been really kind to us, and I think we've been very lucky in that respect.
So they could just look up the name Suicide Theory and everything comes up?
Our Twitter is at TST Film, TST, the letters film, and our Facebook. If you just type in the Suicide Theory, you'll see the fan page.
Great. Hey, thanks for stopping by. Congratulations, Drew, and look forward to great success for you guys.
Thank you very much, man. I appreciate it.